Hi, welcome to Philosophy 1153, Jesus and the Gospels. I'm Dr. Brock Ratcliffe. I'll be your instructor for this course. I'm very glad you decided to take Jesus and the Gospels. I always have a lot of fun teaching this course, and I think you can learn a lot from it. First, a little bit about me. I live in Jackson. I'm originally from St. Francisville, Louisiana, and I'm the son of a Baptist preacher. I've been living in and around the church my whole life, and so I also have felt a call to ministry and serve as the pastor of a small Baptist congregation that lives and works in house churches around the city. I'm also an assistant principal at Clinton High School. That's a relatively new development. I've been a mathematics teacher for several years, but recently have been elevated to the level of assistant principal and am in charge of things like testing for Clinton Public Schools. I have degrees from Mississippi College, Baylor University, where I earned a master's and a doctorate degree, and the University of Mississippi. I am a professional student and am probably overeducated. My wife, Leslie, is on staff as the Associate Pastor for Children at Northminster Baptist Church. So we both have a very church-centered life. We have been in school together for a long time, and now we both work in various functions in the church. So, needless to say, we spend a lot of time in Bible and theology conversations around our house. We have two daughters, Marlo and Mary Alden. They are both absolutely precious. About our topic, I'm glad that you've decided to take this course. I think it's particularly interesting and pretty important. We're going to be covering ideas like the history of the ancient Near East, the nature of gospel literature, and we'll especially be focusing on the life and work of Jesus of Nazareth, who is probably the most important and influential figure in the history of the world. We'll be diving into the four canonical Gospels and talking about how they work and what sorts of things we can learn from them and about them in an academic setting. I personally think that this is a very important class. It might not be the most important class you'll take, but it could be. No other class you'll take sits at the intersection of all of your other classes like this one does, because the Gospels and Jesus of Nazareth himself has had such a profound impact on the development of all your other courses: mathematics, history, art, literature, science. All of these things have been influenced over the years, centuries, and eons by people who have pored over the same documents that we'll be analyzing in this course. So, I think it's particularly important. I hope you'll find it to be that way as well. Now, before we go on, the tough bit. This course is an introduction to the academic study of Jesus and the Gospels. It is not Sunday school. Shake that temptation to believe that it is Sunday school right now. We're not going to be talking about how you feel about Jesus of Nazareth. We're not going to be talking about your inspirational moment that you had with the Gospels. We're going to be diving into the nuts and bolts of what makes the Gospels work. It will challenge what you believe about the Bible and about what the Bible says. More on that in just a moment. We're not going to have one of those God's not dead moments where someone challenges and defeats the atheistic professor who doesn't believe in God and wants to dash the beliefs of every other person in his class. I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I have devoted my life to following this man and his teachings. I have certain beliefs about Jesus of Nazareth, and I express those beliefs through the church. However, you need to know that this course is where I began to take apart what I believe about Jesus and about faith and about God and about myself, and learned how to put it back together again on the other side. At no point, therefore, will I ask you to believe or not believe anything. This course will be a tool and a resource for you, either academically or perhaps devotionally. In either case, please understand that I am not trying to convert you to believe anything, nor am I trying to prevent you from believing anything. I merely want to equip you to study the New Testament literature for yourself. Now, about our class. Each week, I'm going to provide a video lecture similar to this one. It will cover a specific section of readings from our textbook. Now, our textbook has changed. Our text is Four Portraits, One Jesus by Mark Strauss. This textbook looks big and imposing, but don't be alarmed or afraid. It actually has a lot of pictures, the pages are thick, and the margins are wide. We'll be just fine. We're going to cover most of what's in that text, but we'll take it in manageable chunks each week for the next 15 weeks. In many cases, we'll have a discussion post where I ask you to interact with your classmates and with me about a topic that comes up in our readings or that I just want to start a conversation about. Your first discussion post will be about the question, who is Jesus? And will reference a video that I'll have posted in module number 1. There will be each week a quiz. This is where most of your grades will come from. Canvas quizzes will make up the lion's share of your points in this class, so take them seriously. This week, you'll have a practice quiz so that you can get a feel for how I ask questions and how I expect you to answer them. The most important thing to remember on the quizzes is that plagiarism will earn you an automatic 0. I don't want you to copy something from Wikipedia or Bible.com or any other source online and pass it off as your own work, even if it is a perfect answer to a simple question. I will not tolerate plagiarism. This class is for you, not for me to hear what someone else thinks. I may also ask you to do some extra assignments, like watching some videos that I found that will supplement your reading. Or I may ask you to complete a simple Bible project, or ask you to go to BibleGateway.org or some other resource and compare passages in the 4 Gospels. You'll have plenty of warning and plenty of time to do these extra assignments. Each week, I will mark your attendance based on whether or not you've completed an assignment for that week. Now, in some cases, the only assignment you'll have due is a weekly quiz. So if you forget to complete the quiz or don't get around to it, then I'll be marking you absent. Everything is due at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night to complete your assignments. So you have a full week to do things, but once that due date happens, the assignments will lock and you'll be forced to move on. I do that so that you don't get behind and you stay up with what we're doing. So your final grade will come from a variety of sources. Primarily it'll come from the weekly quizzes, as well as the proctored midterm and the proctored final exam. I'm sure you've heard plenty about those, and we'll hear more about them as those dates approach. A small amount of your points will come from the discussion posts and the extra assignments that I give you throughout the semester. Don't neglect these. They could be the difference between an A and a B. And especially participate in the discussion posts. They might be the most important part of this class yet. Now, please remember that when I give you the assignment for the week, it's going to start with the reading. Please, you must do the reading first, or my lecture isn't going to make much sense to you. I base my lectures off of the assigned readings, and I build my quizzes off of the assigned readings. So you must read the text first. Sometimes I'll give you a list of important vocabulary words that you need to know. These would be the words that are in bold in your textbook. Some of them I like to pick on and draw your attention to. Now, to be successful in this class, I ask three things. First, be honest. Be honest with me and with your classmates and with yourself. You probably know a lot of the content that we're already going to be talking about in this class. But be honest with how you feel about it, what you think about it, and it'll make our class a lot more lively and engaging. Be civil. Someone might post something in a discussion that you fundamentally disagree with or that you are offended by. Whether you disagree or are offended or enthusiastically agree, please be civil in your discourse with me and with other people. Remember, we are messing with people's most treasured beliefs in this class. People could get a little hot about it. Please be civil. And finally, be objective. All of us come from different faith traditions, and even within those faith traditions come from different perspectives. Some in this class may be non-believers. Some may be of a different variety from me or from you. Please be objective and understand that there may be another perspective on Jesus and the New Testament than yours.